Hi everybody, welcome to this week's Q&A. We have got a Hudson here. Hudson, you're going to eat your snacks here. Thank you to Dylan, who I have seen is in the chat. He gave me some super chat money for Hudson's Dreamies. These ones actually aren't Dreamies, so sorry about that, but he does like them, as you can see here. He's been eating loads of these. Hello to everybody who is in the chat today. I see loads of names I recognize. Marcus was in here with 2 hours to go. Of course, I was in here 7 hours early today because I set this up earlier today. And Sean was in here 1 hour and 50 minutes early. That's pretty good, Sean. Hello to Alfred and hello to Julie, who were in here quite early too. We've got loads of questions already. We're just going to do a casual Q&A today, if that works well for you. Loads of cruise stuff has happened in the last week, and I think we've got a lot to talk about. So hello to everybody who is joining me. Hello, Paul and Carol, who are in here. It's nice to see you guys. Hello to John. John says, big question, will Hudson make an appearance? Well, there was your appearance from Hudson. Can everybody hear me okay, see me okay? I do have a different microphone on. Hello to Francesca, who's in here. Hudson is right here, aren't you, Hudson? Hello to my dad, who's in the chat. Hello to Thank God. Hello to Todd. Hello to Kate. Hello to Jackie. Hello to Patty Ann, who is in Sweden. People from all over the world joining us for these live Q&As, which is really cool. So I'm thinking about keeping these Friday Q&As as Q&As, me and a guest. I'm going to alternate pretty much me and a guest because I like doing that. I'm thinking about adding in trivia again. I did like doing trivia. I just think we did it every single week for almost a year. So I'm thinking about maybe just doing, first of the month, we'll do trivia, like a bonus trivia, and we'll keep Fridays Q&A with me, if that works for you guys. Hello to Jonesy. Hello to Jeremy. Hello to Karen. Hello to Paul. Hello to Belle. Hello to everybody who's joining me. If you do have a question and you can put capital letters question at the beginning, just like this one, that would be really, really cool. We've got some in here before even I was in here, questions before I even got here, which is pretty cool. I did see a good question up here, but things go incredibly fast. If I don't reply to your question, if I don't see your comments, I'm sorry. It's really small on my screen. I can't really show you guys what I see, but I see myself about 4 times bigger than I see the comments, so I can't really see everything. I'm not going to answer any questions about skincare treatments because that's, this is a cruise channel and no one cares about that stuff. Got people in here from the UK. Oh, Jazz says it was tipping it down when I had to put the bins out this week. That is multiple Britishisms in there. Either Jazz is from the UK or she's been paying attention to my British things. I've been teaching people British things in all my YouTube videos, and I really like doing that. I like seeing all the comments where everybody uses those. So please keep it up. I just find it amusing. Every week I learn something that I didn't know other people didn't know. I didn't really realize that other people didn't say bin in the same way as we do here. I thought people would know what it meant, but I had so many comments asking me what bins were. So many. John has just had his second COVID jab. That's amazing. I'm very, very envious of you. I have no idea when I'm going to get my jab. I think it's going to be a long time. For me, I'm group 13 of 13 here in the UK, fair enough. But I think it's going to be late summer, probably. Fingers crossed it's sooner than that. But it's going to be a strange summer, kind of sat here watching everybody else on cruises when I can't really go on them. But MSC are doing non-vaccinated cruises from the UK. So I'm on an MSC cruise. I have booked an MSC cruise for May, and I might hop back on again later if I can't cruise with any other cruise lines. I'm not going to sitting here all summer watching everybody else cruise. I know there's loads of you guys in the same situation as me. Hello to my mum who is in here as well. My parents never let me down, always join me for my live chats. Question from Vicky. She says, do you think all the pressure on the CDC now will make them change their mind about cruising? So if you haven't seen, it's one of the governors in Florida is trying to sue the CDC and make it so that the CDC says that you guys can cruise again. I'm not sure how much the pressure will actually have an effect on the CDC. The CDC can do what it likes, to be quite honest with you. It doesn't really have any, what can the CDC lose if it annoys people? Not much. I would like to say yes. Fingers crossed it won't be too long for you guys in the US to cruise again, but I'm not making any bets on it. being soon. Wish I could, but I don't think I'm going to. John in here with his super chat. I can't really see where it is, John. I have lost it on the screen. There it is. Thank you, John. John is one of my Patreons, and appreciate your super chat in here every single week. John, you must be sick of me by now, but I'm not sick of you. Thank you for coming. Thank you always for coming. We have a question from Francesca. I haven't even read it yet, but I'm going to put it on the screen because I trust Francesca. I normally try and read them before I put them up, just in case. But, I'm always nervous I'm going to put it on the screen, start reading it, and then at the end it says something awful. Francesca wouldn't do that for me, so let's see what Francesca says. She says, do you think the UK cruise lines may reconsider vaccination policies nearer the time? I hope so, but I don't think so. And also I do understand why some cruise lines are doing this. I think it does suck for us here in the UK if you're a young person and you can't cruise, but it kind of is what it is at the minute. I would like to think that they would reconsider. I don't think that they will. Depends how it goes, I suppose. At the moment, they've been able to fill all of their cruises over and over and over again. They're not worried about having ships sailing empty. If it did get to a point where they were kind of, the ships were half empty, maybe they would reconsider it, but I'm not sure. What I think is good is that Royal Caribbean and Celebrity are doing vaccinated adults, and if you're a child, you just have to do a negative test, because that means that most families can still go. If you've kind of got someone who's a young adult who can't be vaccinated, that, you're going to just leave them at home and go with the kids. I know a lot of people in that situation, so that's tricky, but I'm not sure. I think I'm just going to have to sit tight. I mean, I'm really happy that anything is happening anywhere and there's progress. People are looking on YouTube again for cruise-related things. People are searching cruise-related things on the internet, so it feels like a really good time. But yeah, for Francesca and me sitting here probably this summer at least, watching everyone else go on cruises, it's not going to be great. But I would prefer some people to cruise than nobody cruise. So it's all good, I think. Good question from Christian. He says, non-COVID related question. In your opinion, what is the greatest thing about being on a cruise ship? I think being on a cruise, to me, it just makes traveling so much easier and so much better value than if you were to travel by land. I've taken cruises where I would have never, ever visited those places on land. I took a cruise from Singapore to Tokyo. Would I realistically on land spend a day in Vietnam? Probably not. That's quite tricky to do. But on a cruise, it makes it so unbelievably easy. It's great value because everything's included. I love eating the food. I love watching the entertainment. I love just looking at the ocean. So we'll have to wait and, yeah. Sorry, I was answering the next question that I was gonna do. My brain crossed over some wires there. I just saw a question that said, what kind of documentation do you suspect we will need to show for vaccinations? And that kind of changed me back to the COVID brain. And I'm not sure at the minute. I don't think the cruise lines know at the minute. They've said that they're going to update when they know. So I think we're just going to have to wait and see. Phil has a really good question. He says, do you think we're going to have a one-way system around the British Isles, considering the number of cruise ships that will be based here in summer? I don't think so, but it is going to be a lot of cruise ships here this summer, a lot of cruise ships, which is exciting. I think there's something like 13 different cruise lines cruising from Britain this summer, which is really, really cool. I just wish I could be on there. Moonplace has a good question. He says, do you plan on going on the MSC Virtuoso with its no vaccine policy? My second to last video was called I've just booked a cruise where you don't need a vaccine. So I think that answers your question. I have booked the MSC Virtuoso with its no vaccine policy. They have been cruising since last July, 50,000 people on board. I trust MSC more than I trust, regular life these days. So yes, I have booked that and I am looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. I can't wait to be back at sea. Can't wait. Roger says, what is more important, the ship or the destinations? Good question, but completely depends on the person. To me, I will kind of pick, I want to go to this destination, roughly. I want to go to Norway, for example, but I won't be thinking, I'll just think Norway. I'm not thinking specific ports. Then I'll have a look at the cruise line and then I'll see, I'm happy with those ports. So it's kind of a bit of both for me. I wouldn't just follow a random ship to, a place I didn't want to go to, but I would say half and half, maybe. Depends on different people. Some people will follow their favorite ship anywhere, and some people care 100% about the ports. What is the best way to get a free upgrade from an interior stateroom to something a bit higher? Hands down, it is guaranteed cabins. I'm always booking guaranteed cabins. I have booked, well, there wasn't really an option to book a guaranteed cabin on the MSC cruise, so I've just booked the cheapest one I could find. But a guaranteed cabin basically means if you book a guaranteed inside, you're guaranteed to at least get an inside, and you don't pick your room. The cruise line picks the room for you, but you could get upgraded, and that's pretty much the highest chance you're going to have of being upgraded. If they have spare ocean views or balconies, they're going to look at the guaranteed people and bump them up. So if you do want to get an upgrade, book a guaranteed. The thing is the cruise line will choose your cabin for you, so you have to be not fussy about cabin location. I'm not, so that's totally fine. Patrick the Pier Runner says, hey Emma, first time on your live chat, love your channel. Thank you, Patrick. We've had so many new people to my channel in the last month, which has been amazing. And if you are a new person here, hi. I'm Emma, if you haven't guessed, and all kinds of cruise related things happen on this channel. Not so much for the last year for obvious reasons, but I'm hoping that things are restarting now and things will get better. Yeah, Kelly's Cruiser says, I don't care where I go, I just want to be on board. Yeah, right now, if a cruise was offered to me where it like floated out and then just came back, that would be fine. That'd be totally fine. Sasha says, do you know a cruise line where you can bring animals? You can bring animals on a Cunard cruise. If you're crossing the Atlantic, you can take your cat or your dog with you. Not sure about other animals. Cats and dogs, yes. Apart from that, most cruise lines won't let you bring your pets. Apart from if they're a service dog or something like that. I love seeing the odd service dog on the Norwegian Spirit. The last cruise I did, there was a really, really cute service dog, and you would just see his little legs sticking out in, I think it was not Oceans, but whatever the old version of Oceans was. Why didn't you answer John's question? He's King Spud. I don't think John has a question. Honestly, you guys should see how fast this goes. Well, I'm not tempted, but I see a lot of people who do put the slow mode on the chat, and I totally understand why. Mark says, do you think a 4-night UK cruise in June will have a formal night? Possibly. Depends on the cruise line, I think. If you're doing a 4-night MSC cruise, I don't think they'll have a formal night, although it's very informal on MSC anyway. If you're doing a 4-night Cunard cruise, they'll probably put one in there. That tends to be the cutoff point. Does your MSC cruise contain ports? It has one port, which is Portland. Very exciting. Gary says, hi, Emma. Thanks for your channel. Thank you, Gary, for your super chat. I appreciate that. And AM Anthony says, so I can't bring my giraffe. I don't know how you would fit a giraffe on a cruise ship. So no, you can't do that. Oh, John says, do you have a Patreon page? And he's got some potatoes there because John is our King Spud. John is king of the Patreons. I have Patreons who stay in my Patreon just to talk to John. We have a new Discord server so that the Patreons and YouTube channel members can talk. If you're a YouTube channel member or a Patreon and you're not already in the Discord, send me a message. I've been trying to get the link out to people, but it times out itself. So yeah, then you can talk to John all the time inside our Discord, which is for Patreons and channel members. Thank you, Richard, for my super chat. Good afternoon. As always, we love your channel. Thank you so much, Richard. I appreciate it. I think you've been to almost all of these live chats, Richard, which I really appreciate. It's so nice to see the same names come around and around. Tom says, hi, new Patreon. Hi, Tom. I will send you a message in Patreon as soon as I'm off of here. I do try and reply as fast as I can. Doesn't matter what I'm doing, but I think a live stream is a good reason to kind of to wait a little bit. Good afternoon. Hello all to Daniel, who has just joined us. Michael says, is a suit and tie acceptable for formal night on most cruises? Most cruises, yes. Some you don't even need a tie. If you're cruising with Cunard, though, on a formal night, you need a jacket and a bow tie. You need a proper tuxedo if you're cruising with Cunard. But almost every other cruise line, yes. If you're on MSC, a cruise line like that, that's really casual. If you're just wearing a shirt, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be good. Interesting question. I'm not sure I know the answer to this one, but let's see. Hi, Emma, new here. Question: when do you think the cruise ship companies will start to hire new people for the crew, people without experience? I think at the minute, the cruise lines are in a really weird situation because they've got, you know, their ships everywhere. They've got their crew everywhere. They're trying to get everybody back at the moment who know what they're doing to restart cruising really quickly. And then hopefully once we've been cruising for a few months, they'll be hiring new people. They probably still are hiring new people. But I feel like for right now, they're just trying to get things done as fast as they can. And training is kind of a thing that takes a little while. Thank you, Gary, for my super chat. You have booked Royal Caribbean June 26th. Very envious of you. So I know quite a lot of people who are in the US. Yes, you still can't cruise from the US. You cannot cruise from a US port, but you can fly to the Caribbean. You can fly to Bermuda. Cruises are starting to pop up from those places. And you can cruise from there, even if you're from the US. So it's good. It is interesting. It feels to me like a lot of work. Imagine you live right by Miami cruise port and you have to fly to the Caribbean to take a Caribbean cruise. Sanna makes a good point. She says, don't need a jacket or tie on Norwegian Cruise Line. You need nothing on Norwegian Cruise Line. If you're dressed, you're fine. Royal Caribbean, MSC, or Princess even. Interesting. I tend to think of Princess as being a bit more formal, but if you're just wearing a shirt, that will be fine. Loads of questions in here. It's tricky because I want to read them before I put them on the screen, but also I'm always a little bit hesitant, if that makes sense. I do have squash here today. Where is it? Here it is. I've gone back to the classic Vimto today. John says, what's the youngest age child you would recommend taking on a cruise for friends with a child? I mean, I know people who take their 6-month-old babies on cruises. It sounds like a lot of work to me, but I don't have a 6-month-old baby to take. You can cruise any kind of age. Depends if you want them to kind of remember it. I cruised at 11, and I have to say, the things I remember about the cruise are not the things that I would really remember now. I remember the food, and I remember going up and down the elevators with my cousin, the lifts and stuff, which was really cool. You can depends on your child, however young you want. Gregory, thank you for your super chat. I appreciate that one. Have you been offered to work for any of the cruise lines? No, and I don't think I could do that. I'm too spoiled with kind of an office job. It's hard work working on a cruise ship. This is my squash. If you're from Scotland, it's called diluting juice, as Sana told me earlier. So diluting juice explains better what this is, I think, than squash. It is a diluted fruit juice, and it's a whole category here in the UK, a whole aisle in the supermarket. Thank you, John, for my super sticker as well. I appreciate that one too. Have you ever been on a stranded or broken down cruise ship? No, I have never done that. No, it doesn't happen very often. It doesn't happen very often. Stacey says something nice. She said, congratulations on going full-time with YouTube. I know you'll be wonderfully successful. Thank you so much, Stacey. And thank you to so many lovely comments on the video I made about quitting my day job. Obviously, it's scary because I've had the security of a 9-to-5 office job for 6 years, but I'm haven't regretted it for 1 second. It has been 1 month. This month, things have gone really well. My YouTube channel has gone boof. Not sure if it's fate, but it is encouraging. It really is, and it feels like a very positive time. So fingers crossed. Sana says, friends might want to consider the fact that swim nappies aren't allowed in the pools, so any parents wanting to take kids on board should be aware. Yeah, I've seen quite a lot of parents with small kids who take like a tiny little paddling pool and fill that up and just have it kind of on the pool deck. Or, yeah, that sounds quite fun. Jazz says, don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, if you can like it, that would be really, really cool. Michael says, hi, Emma, I hope you're doing well. Do you think an operator would let you have a look behind the scenes on board, the bridge, kitchens, engineering spaces, for example? I have done on quite a few cruise ships before. If I've been invited as, you know, I'm on a trip with journalists and stuff like that, they want to show them. And when I cruise with Norwegian, I have the highest loyalty status that gets me a free bridge tour, which is always good. And I've been on kind of in the kitchens and stuff of river cruise ships, which is really cool. So yeah, it's good. How are your stress levels since quitting work? Good. I feel really good. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Really, really good. Really good. Marshall says, future video topic, cruise line dress code. You've implied you got side-eye about it. You've said the most formal Cunard and the most informal NCL. Your perspective would be valuable. Yes, it might be. It's very, very different cruising with Cunard and cruising with NCL, which is why I just want to tell people that, because I think the worst thing you can do is be unprepared and be surprised. And we just need the right people. We just need the right people on the right cruise lines. I might do that. It's how to approach it, because it's such a huge thing, and it varies even within, you know, what someone counts as formal, someone counts as informal. It's a huge video. Talk about that for ages. That's the type of thing I talk more about in my cruise course, which is called How to Cruise for Less. If you're interested in that, head to emmacruises.com, and there's a big button called Cruise for Less. This is kind of the kind of thing I talk about in there, because that goes through how to find a cruise line, and I've got all of these charts on formal scales and stuff like that, how to book the cruise. Everything is in that course. That's kind of the place I would put that stuff. Thank you, Jean. He says, hi, Emma. Fear not, we'll all cruise again, and we will appreciate it even more. Yes, I'm sure we will. I know it's only been a year, but it feels like a very long year, doesn't it? Just to imagine sitting on the balcony with a cup of tea, maybe sailing in Norway with a quilt duvet wrapped around you. It just sounds so good. Can't wait. Gary says, I lived in England for 9 years and never really considered going on a cruise there. Sounds great, minus the squash drink. If you were taking a cruise with Cunard, their soft drinks package includes squash, which I think is really cool, because we do drink a lot of squash here. Maybe even P&O as well. But that's not a reason not to go on a British cruise. British cruises are really, really good. I am planning on doing another one. I did have one booked for August. My logic was solid on that cruise. I booked a British Isles cruise thinking when we restart cruising, we will restart with British Isles cruises, and it was cancelled to make way for British Isles cruises. So I had the right logic, but it was still cancelled, so I've moved that to next year. 3D printing newbie says, I've just booked my first cruise on P&O July 2020. My parents want to see me off. Can they visit me on board before departure? No, they cannot come on the ship. It used to be the thing where you could bring someone on board for lunch or like a morning tour or something like that, but you can't do that anymore. Security reasons, too stressful. They can wave you when you go through the terminal and get on the cruise ship, but they cannot come on board. Thank God for the slacking. Keep it up, Emma. You are not slacking in any way. If anybody ever comes to these live streams, if you come once, if you watch one of my videos, one a year, you know, if you leave one comment, you like one thing, like, I appreciate you. I don't expect everybody who's subscribed to my YouTube channel to come to every live stream, to watch every video, to join everything. If you do anything ever, then thank you. Thank you. And thank you for your super chat. I appreciate that. But you don't have to. DBDB says, what is your favorite European cruise? I did the Baltic capitals and I loved it, and I'm looking for our next destination in Europe. I love a Baltic cruise if you're okay with the rain and you're okay with, I really like walking tours and history and culture and stuff like that. Baltics is fantastic. I always say to someone who's kind of new to cruising, who wants to do a European cruise, I think a Mediterranean cruise is the best one, because every place is so different. You can visit so many different countries within a week. I think the MSC Mediterranean cruise I took was 5 countries in 7 days, which is really, really cool. Apart from that, I really like doing Canary Island cruises. They're so warm, even in winter. And I'm a massive fan of Norway. Visit Norway. Just visit Norway. No questions asked. Visit Norway. Thank you, John, for my super sticker again. Thank you. Appreciate that. Suzanne says, YouTube showed me your channel last week, and I've been going through and watching videos online. So I hope to cruise within the future. That is fantastic. YouTube is it's a mystery. It is really, really strange to me. I put out a video 18 months ago that got 1,000 views. I'm sure some of you guys watched it when it came out. 1,000. I probably at the time would have thought that just 1,000 views is not that great for my channel. And then 18 months later, it got 585,000 views. It's a mystery. If YouTube wants to show you to somebody, It will, and it does. And thank you so much to anybody who's new and has joined my channel recently. Appreciate that. You seem a champion. You seem to champion young people are going on cruises. What do you consider young? I would say anybody who is younger than the average age of a cruiser is a young person on a cruise. I think the average age is 57 on a cruise at the minute. It's something like that. So if you're younger than that, I think you're a young person on a cruise. I think it's as simple as that. Younger than average, then you are young. Thank you, DBDB, for my super chat. I appreciate that one. Jonesy says, YouTube is frustrating. I'm supposed to be working on training, but yet here I am. Yeah, I like it though, especially this last year, because last year has felt, you know, we've all been disconnected and been able to sit here and just talk to you guys at the same time. It's been really good. Exactly. People have found me during the boredom of lockdown. Exactly. Yes. Oh, we've got a strong opinion here. Love your channel, but dogs are better than cats. Sorry, not sorry. I have been watching the cutest TV show at the moment called, I can't remember what it's called, The Dogs something. And it's about where they match people with dogs, rescue dogs. And it's so unbelievably cute. I would get one maybe if it wasn't for Hudson. And also the fact that I like to go on cruises and travel quite a lot, if you haven't noticed from my channel. And Hudson is the boss around this house. Cats rule. Yeah, cats rule. Thank you, Watermelon Cat there. Yeah, I don't think we need to be team cat or team dog. Jenny says, I feel amazingly young at 56. Yes, yes. Oh, thank you to Michelle for my super chat. She says, a huge shout out to the cruise lines sending help to the people of St. Vincent. Yes, cruise lines, you know, they can be really, really helpful when they want to be. When there's earthquakes, when there's fires, they do their thing. I wish it was reported on more. So many cruise lines gave up their food when the stop happened. Are we calling it the stop? The pause happened a year ago. It just doesn't get reported on enough. So yes, well done to all the cruise lines sending help over there. Rooster's Coop says chickens are better. I don't really feel like a chicken is as... I don't know. I spend all evening sitting on the sofa with Hudson and he's so cute. And I can't imagine spending the sofa with a chicken. I'll be honest with you. Oh, Jonesy was doing a job interview on Zoom and my cat is in the background puking. Oh, that is horrible. That's awkward. It's not your fault. There's nothing you can do about that. And I guess you'll learn about the employer, how they react to that and if they're a nice place to work for. So, you know. Santa says, and the ships that go to rescue are now being floating hotels. Yes, and they've been hospitals before, all kinds of things. Cruise ships are very nice. They're very nice, if I do say so myself. Yeah, how donated their food shipments to food banks at the start of the great unpleasantness. I like that, the great unpleasantness. I turned 70 today and still feel young on a Holland America cruise. Yeah, I would love to cruise with Holland America. I haven't done it yet, but I do have the impression that it is for older cruisers. If you want to cruise with Cunard, you will feel that you'll be helping everybody else on that cruise if you're, yeah, it's an older passenger demographic on Cunard for sure. Jazz says, bye, gotta do some chores. That's okay. Please feel free to pop in and out of these chats whenever you want. All of these are available to catch up on forever, as long as my YouTube channel exists. So you can go back and watch all of them. Do you think cruises will offer their own COVID vaccinations for those who book but aren't vaccinated? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to want to get into vaccinations at all. I mean, I would like it if I booked a cruise and if I didn't have my vaccine, they could give it to me, but it's not their area at all. What is your best size of ship in your opinion? 100 to 6,000. Yeah, so I've cruised on cruise ships with, if we count river ships, 100, and then ocean ships, 900-ish, up to 6,000. For me, I think it's around 2,000, kind of 2,500. I really like that size. That's kind of the older Royal Caribbean ships, the ones that have moved on to other cruise lines. The older, smaller Norwegian cruise ships, I kind of like that size. I think that's nice. But then again, when I've cruised on kind of the MSC Maravillia, 5,500 passengers, it doesn't feel like there's that many people on there. The only thing is if you're lining up you know, to get off. There's so many people on there, so it is what it is. Thank you, Gary, for your super chat. He says he has got to get back to work. Thanks, Emma. Thank you. I appreciate you joining me. Have an okay time at work. Here in the UK, it is 5:30, so it's nearly 5:30, nearly dinner time, and the weekend, which is very, very exciting. Traveling On says you have to be vaccinated 2 weeks before going on the ship. Yeah, some cruise lines I think are a week, but most are 2. And yeah, the cruise line's not gonna kind of organize that where everybody lives to get there. They're not gonna do that. 3D printing newbie, where are you? You say, I don't drink alcohol. Is it worth getting a soft drinks package or pay as I go? For me, I normally get a soda package if they offer that, or a soft drinks package if I'm cruising with Princess, because they have loads of kind of nice mocktails in there. If you just have a look at the price of the drinks package and divide that by whatever kind of drink you would like, for me, when I'm having a soda package, it's normally like if I have 4 per day, then I've made my money back, which I'm definitely going to have 4 per day, so that's no problem. It depends on your kind of itinerary as well, because if you're in a place where you're off all the time, you're not going to drink as much on board. If you're somewhere where you're going to be on the ship all day, every day, might be more worth it. Might be more worth it. What is your opinion on the mega ships that Royal Caribbean are churning out? I haven't been on the big ones, the really, really big ones, and I would love to. Fingers crossed one day. I've only cruised with Carnival. Could you compare and contrast Carnival to Royal Caribbean? I haven't cruised with Carnival. I tried to in 2020, but we all know what happens there. I can compare. What I've been doing recently is comparing MSC to almost every cruise line. If you want to compare MSC to Princess, to P&O, to Royal Caribbean, head to emmacruises.com because I've done everything on there. I'll let anybody else if they want to chime in on Carnival versus Royal Caribbean. Yeah, I don't think when I haven't cruised with them, I don't think I should make any assumptions. I saw a question, I think, about 5:30. Define 5:30. Can I buy a 5:30 translation? 5:30 means it's half an hour past 5, so it's 5:30. Apart from if you're in Germany, then 5:30 I think means 4:30 in the UK. Here 5:30 means half an hour past 5. Easy peasy. Great question here, and I have so many answers for you. What form of transportation would you recommend going from London to Southampton? I have got on my website, emmacruises.com, search for Southampton, and it will come up with guides from Gatwick, Heathrow airports in London, and it goes through the trains, the taxi, renting your own car, everything. I spent days and days researching all of this stuff, so check out that. There's no way I can say it all in this live stream because that will be the rest of the live, but emmacruises.com, just search for Southampton or anything like that, and you will see. Done my research on this one. Yeah, Carnival is a younger crowd. Yeah, I would say Carnival is cheaper, younger, party. They don't have the big, really exciting, huge cruise ships that they have in Royal Caribbean, but it seems like fun. It seems very relaxed, and yeah. Matthew says, sorry to hear about Prince Philip. Yes, Prince Philip has died today. The UK is not in a state of mourning. I've had people say, you know, does stuff happen? No. I mean, obviously it's sad. He was an old guy who had a long and good life. So that is what it is. But yeah. Carnival is for families, whereas Royal Caribbean is for people in their 30s, says X-Fun. Yeah, I would say both for families, really. They're both pretty relaxed. If you could only pick one cruise line to cruise on, which one would you pick and why? Do I have infinite amounts of money, or am I doing this with my own money? If I'm doing this with my own money, I would probably pick Norwegian or Princess, probably. If I don't have to pay for it, I would pick Viking, and I would just live on a Viking ship for the rest of my life. Yeah, he was 99. It's hardly surprising, says Paul. Yeah. Ladybug77 just says, haha, sideways laughs. Ooh, good question from Eve. And this is another thing that I've spent ages researching. I also have a post on my website comparing P&O and Marella, I think. So check that out. I've only cruised with Marella many times. I like the all-inclusive package. Yes, Good, agreed. How does it compare with P&O, as I've been tempted a few times? So P&O are much more traditional. The formal nights are more enforced. People like going to the captain's welcome drinks. It's much more of a traditional cruise rather than a Marella cruise. I would say the Marella cruises that I've been on are busier than the P&O cruises. P&O tends to be a bit more relaxing, not boring by any means, but a bit more relaxing. But yeah, food's kind of similar, British kind of food, British things everywhere. But yeah, head to emmacruises.com. Sorry to keep sending you to my website, but I have spent a long time researching this. So there's more answers for you on there. Sandra says, I think Marella are great for first-time cruisers. And first, yeah, agreed. Flights, tips, and drinks included. And they have good new-ish ships. Yes, agree with that one. Marella only have 4 ships. P&O have more than 4. I'm not sure how many. Rooster's Coop says, use the laundry service on a ship and pack light, or pack way too much and avoid laundry. Good question. For me, it's pack light and don't do laundry. Sometimes I will do my own laundry. If I'm just washing, the odd t-shirt, I'll just wash it in the sink with travel wash. That's really easy to do. I try to avoid using the actual laundries if they're on board because they're expensive. If I can avoid it, I will avoid it. What do you think is the most traditional cruise line? Cunard, hands down. If you're somebody who is in love with the Titanic and all that kind of idea about cruising, Cunard is as close as you're going to get in the modern day. I've spent a lot of time today researching the electricity on the Titanic. Who knew that was a thing? But somebody asked me a question that they just said, did the Titanic have electricity? And then for me, I'm like, I can write a blog post about this. There's so much I can look into. And it's really interesting how their electricity worked, how they generated electricity, what they used it for. It was really good. So that'll be my next blog post coming out soon. It's really cool to see the pictures and stuff. I love a bit of kind of ship history. Love that stuff. Dave says, Emma, I'm still at work, just checking in and showing you support. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. I've got 480 people in here today, which is terrifying, but fantastic. Don't leave. Please don't leave. Paul and Carol love to travel, say Marella are great, fun cruise line. Entertainment is fab and all-inclusive prices are generally good. Yes, they're actually a cruise line that's all-inclusive that isn't really expensive, which is amazing. So yeah, Paul and Carol have loads of Marella stuff on their channel. I think they were kind of the ones who convinced me to try Marella at the beginning. So watch all of their Marella stuff if you're interested in Marella. Dylan says, history is amazing. Agreed. I just think it's just interesting when you see the pictures of the Titanic with all the lights and they had they had elevators on board and like, I don't know. It's just cool. It was so long ago. Sasha says, in most showers, you'll have a hanging line for the clothes to dry. Yes, will be dry overnight because of the ventilation. Yeah, things do normally dry pretty quickly. I do that all the time. It's so easy. It's so cheap. You can get a bottle of travel wash for about £1. Easy peasy, easy peasy. Scott says, new to your channel. Love it. Thank you, Scott. Thank you to anybody who is new to my channel. It's always nice to get new people in here. I've had so many comments lately from people who say, I have no interest in cruising, but I subscribe to your channel just to watch you talk about stuff, which is really, really cool to me. I've been putting out, the last video I put out was about how Carnival got that funnel shape, the little whale tail. And it's that kind of thing I really like. I like learning about stuff and wondering why, and then putting it together. Jeff says, do you prefer the massive ships or, oh, his comment has gone, lost you, Jeff, or small ships being a few hundred guests as opposed to thousands? The thing about small ships with a few hundred guests as opposed to thousands is that they are a few thousand times more expensive than the bigger ships. So the smallest ship I've ever cruised on was the Viking ship, the Viking Ocean ship. And I went on that because Viking invited me on there. There's no way I could have afforded it. If you're someone who's on a budget, you're going to be cruising on the bigger cruise ships. There's just economies of scale make bigger cruise ships bigger. I'd love to know more about cruising on a few hundred guests ships, but I think that's going to be a while for me. Would you recommend the Scarlet Lady for a 14-night cruise? If you've not seen my video about Scarlet Lady, go on YouTube and type in Scarlet Lady and you'll see my review of the night I spent on board. I'm really looking forward to real people getting on that cruise ship. I wish I could try it. I need to have a vaccine though for the British Isles Scarlet Lady cruises. So not going to be anytime soon. Loads of new people still coming in here. Hello, if you have just joined me recently. We are just chatting all things cruising. I'm kind of not waiting, but I kind of am waiting because I have got a cruise booked for May. So fingers crossed that is going to happen. And then I'm just waiting for my vaccine and I can cruise with the other cruise lines. I hope you guys do stick around when everybody else is cruising and I'm the one sat at home waiting. I'm sure you will. You'll probably all be waiting with me so we can relate, I suppose. But yeah, it's going to be a strange summer, I think. Daniel says, when do you think cruising will return to some sort of normality? Not for a while, not for quite a long time. I think in 2021, we're going to see the cruise ships kind of building back up, 1 ship, 2 ship, 3 ship, 5 ship, 10 ship, until we have all of the cruise ships back. Whether they're all back by the end of the year, I'm not sure. I think 2022, it's still going to be different. 2023, I think it will be more normal, but this is the same as predicting when will the world return to normal after a pandemic. I don't know. I wish I knew. Alfred says, remember the thumbs up. Yeah, if you can like this video. Thank you. John says, likes, please. That would be really cool. Craig says he loves going to Southampton just to see the large vessels. Last one was the MSC Bellissima. Yes, very, very cool. I have booked Virtuoso, who is Bellissima's big sister. I do have a piece over there of Virtuoso. I'm amazed I managed to point to that right because this is flipped round for me and it really confuses me. But I have this metal piece here. You see it? That is from the MSC Virtuoso because I was at the steel cutting where they cut the first piece of steel. They were building Bellissima at the time, which was so cool. What is your favorite cabin? For me, it's the cheapest cabin most of the time. Normally an inside cabin. If I can upgrade to an ocean view or a balcony, then that's good, but not if it's a lot more money. Dennis says, very good show with Lolita Loca last week. Yes, I really love having guests on here. It's been really fun to kind of, it's so handy for me being here in the UK to have kind of Tony in the US, to have Don in Canada, to have Chris in Australia, to be like, what is going on with Australia? What are the CDC doing, Tony? And then I can keep up to date with everything, which is so good. And I've got Sherry over that way and it's really nice. Do you get approached on cruises from your subscribers? I have done a little bit. I did. It's difficult because I didn't have so many subscribers the last time I went on a cruise, and it's going to be really strange to go on a cruise again. I would prefer to, if people are on the same cruise as me, to tell me in advance so that I can work out who people are and kind of plan that. I mean, please always say hi to me. And look, I'm just normally in my own world is the only thing. Whereas if I know someone is going to be there, I'll look out for them. But yeah, people have done before. People have approached me on cruises. I try my best to be nice. It's really hard. I don't want to disappoint people when they meet me in real life compared to YouTube. I don't know. Apparently I'm the same. Hopefully I am the same. Alfred says, what is the potato of the week? Good question. What is the potato of the week? I think I'm going to go with just a UK version of chips, like a steak cut chip. That's what I'm going with today. A really thick cut chip. Steak cut chips. That's my answer. Potato of the week. It's not really a potato. It's a way to have potatoes. Kevin says, have you planned a group cruise yet? No, I haven't. And I don't have plans to anytime soon. Dylan says fries. Yes, not fries. Chips. Chips here in the UK. Chips here in the UK. We would call some chips fries if they're really thin. Like McDonald's is fries, definitely fries. But as soon as they get to be fatter, proper chips, then they're chips. Then they're chips. Philip says, do you think Carnival will send a ship to the UK to cruise? I don't know why they wouldn't. I think it makes perfect sense for them too. But they were very kind of adamant that they were not going to leave their US home ports until a couple of days ago. And then they said we might have to leave. So maybe they will leave. I feel like it's better for them to have some cruise than no cruise, right? They have enough ships. They have something like 26 ships, Carnival, I think. So surely they can spare us one over here in the UK, which would be really cool because I did try and cruise with Carnival. I think I would really like it. Yeah, it was just 2020. You know how it is. What about Burger King fries? Yeah, they would be fries. Those really thin ones that are really salty, they're fries, but it just gets to be proper chips when it's, you wouldn't call a really proper chip, you wouldn't call that a fry. You wouldn't do that. Roger says, Roger, you scrolled off my screen again. Given your passion for Pepsi Max, have you found a cruise line with brand-specific agreements such as Coke products only at Disney? Yes, some cruise lines do that, and sometimes there is outrage when one changes from Coke to Pepsi or Pepsi to Coke. I don't mind that much. My drink of choice at home is a Pepsi Max, but if I have to have a Coke Zero, like, that is fine. I'm not one of these people who really only likes one. I'll drink any kind of diet cola pretty much, but yeah, cruise lines do that, and sometimes people get upset about it. Jeremy says, when will you launch a potato-based cooking YouTube channel? Diversify that portfolio. When I learn how to cook, maybe. I really don't know how to cook very much. I just don't enjoy it. I much prefer to make cake as opposed to a potato product. I prefer to eat the potato probably if someone else has cooked it. Yeah, Santa says, like, Carnival has switched from Coke to Pepsi. Yay. Yeah, I saw a lot of people who were really unhappy about that. For me, that's good. You're never going to please everybody. Jonesy wants to ship the offers Monster Energy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really drink energy drinks very much. Which cruise line do you think will get the most traction with these sailings to nowhere this summer? I think they're all going to sell out all of their cruises, and they're all going to do great, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people, when P&O said that children couldn't cruise with them because children weren't vaccinated, there was so much drama on the internet, people saying, I'll never book P&O again, blah, blah, blah. They sold out those first cruises super fast. Their website crashed. I think demand is there for all of these sailings. For me, obviously, and for everybody else who's unvaccinated, your choice is pretty much MSC. So MSC, I think they could add multiple ships here and they would still fill them. I'm convinced of it. But yeah, I think all the cruises here in the UK going to be fabulous. It's such a shame in the US they can't do cruises to nowhere. Jonesy says, is it the thing to get fish and chips served on newspaper, or is that a movie thing? It's more of an old-fashioned thing because it's just, we would just get, it's the same sort of paper as newspaper, but it hasn't got ink on it for obvious reasons. You don't want ink on your chips. But yeah, we would get that same sort of newspaper paper. Depends where you go. Sometimes you'll get like a plastic pot or whatever. But no, if they gave me actual newspaper with my chips, I'd be a bit like, I don't want to get ink on my chips. No. Sana is talking about cruising as a teenager. I can't see your comments, Greg, so sorry about that one. So many comments, they move so unbelievably fast. I'll try and show you guys one time what I actually see because it's crazy. Tim says, I'd love to cruise from nowhere from Florida, but they say no. Yeah, they do say no. Caroline is asking the important questions here. Do you bring your own squash on a cruise? I don't, but I know a lot of people who do. You can get the really diluted squashes, so it's like this big, and you put literally 2 drops in water. People bring those. I'm more of a soda drinker, and I'm, anything else when I'm on a cruise. Squash is just my normal thing at home. Jameson says, have you taken a Disney cruise? No, I would love to try it. I'm not a massive Disney person, to be honest with you. I never wanted to be a Disney princess. Never. They're just very expensive compared to other cruise lines. So I've always picked other cruise lines over Disney. They don't cruise much from the UK. They're really not over here. And when they were, the prices would be 4 times what it was to cruise with Norwegian or something like that. And I just can't justify that price. So I haven't yet. But I would cruise with any cruise line. I'll try anything once. And yeah, I do have 2 nieces they would love Disney. Love it. Sorry, I've lost you. Would you do a group cruise with a small group of your members? I don't know. I don't know if I would want to do a group cruise because I would feel under so much pressure all the time to be sociable. And I'm not that sociable in real life, I've got to be honest with you. I don't know. I would be nervous. I get a lot of weird messages on the internet. And yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure about that one. But thank you so much for your super chat. Maybe one day, I'll never say never. I think I would prefer to kind of come along to, if Tony's doing a group thing or something like that, have me as kind of a sideline rather than my own group cruise. Because the pressure, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe one day. Maybe it could be a short cruise from somewhere where I feel kind of Okay, maybe. We will see. Ladybug says, too many kids. I love Mickey, but not that much. Yeah, see, I don't know. I can't comment on that. Sasha says, have you ever done a Costa cruise? Yes, I have done a Costa cruise. I have done one Costa cruise. It was the cheapest cruise I've ever been on. According to Cruise Critic, it was the worst cruise I've ever been on. But it wasn't bad at all. I mean, you get what you pay for. You pay almost nothing, and you get almost nothing. So it is what it is. Dylan says, Jenny B book you. You can make it a closed group. Yeah, maybe. It's funny that you and Tony both describe yourselves as introverted. Yeah, maybe that's why we're such good friends, because we can kind of let that out together. Cruise View says, what is your favorite cruise line? I feel like that's like picking a favorite child, and it's really tricky because I've never been on a cruise that I didn't like. Never. As long as the price matches what I paid for it, I don't mind if it's a budget cruise. I don't mind if it's a more luxurious cruise. If I've got the luxury experience, that's fine. Depends who I'm cruising with. If I'm cruising by myself, I will pick Norwegian, I'll pick Princess, I'll pick Marella, like a Royal Caribbean cruise. I have a cheap MSC cruise. I'd cruise with Viking all the time if I had the money. Love the food on Celebrity. Yeah, I've never found a cruise I didn't like. Never. Disney has adult-only areas on their ships and adult-only clubs. Yeah, I just think I just don't know. Just don't know. I think I have to get on a Disney cruise to try it. And I do have two nieces that would love it so much. But yeah, I was never that Disney princess child. Never that Disney princess child. Columbia House says, what's the worst weather you've ever had on a cruise? Or the first thing that springs to my mind is I took a cruise over Christmas on the MSC Maravillia. We were in a storm and it was quite bad. I suppose they cancelled the next port and we had a sea day and I got really seasick. I ended up sleeping on the floor. It was not nice. I get too seasick. But it's still a good cruise. I mean, I'm still glad I went. It was fantastic. And if you cruise in December, you can't complain if you're gonna have a storm. All on me. But it was very cheap and it was very good. So it is what it is. Us introverted people have been training for social distancing our whole lives. Yes, very, very true. Suits me fine. Roland, oh, I've heard you just popped off my screen. Lost you. Heard a lot of bad comments on MSC, but I'm still interested, especially in their new ships, which look beautiful. Yeah, I did put out a video, which is just for this, just for people who are considering MSC, have cruised with other cruise lines, and they're thinking, I've heard bad things about it. What is this? Watch that video. It answers all of that stuff. Jody says, Emma, I really enjoy your channel. Thank you so much for my super chat. I enjoy everything I do here too. I wouldn't do it. It's good fun. It's really nice to get to talk to everybody on a Friday, kind of wind down the end of the week for this Friday. So that's good. Marcus says, where can we learn that green apples help? Marcus means inside my cruise course, I think. That's one of the things I talk about in there. If you do get seasick, green apples, something to do with the acid just in your mouth. I don't know. It makes you feel better. It really, really does. Greg says, what is your favorite pastime or entertainment on a cruise? I really like going to dinner, going to the theater and watching some sort of musical or something with a story, having maybe an included drink with it. Sounds fantastic. Welcome to Kevin, who has become a new member of my YouTube channel. YouTube does have this thing now where you can become a member of a channel and you get more stuff, basically. So for people who become a member of my channel, I do a weekly podcast and I talk about kind of all the behind the scenes stuff. I know loads of you guys in here, John and Marcus and Francisco, who's just joined us, listen to my podcast. So yeah, you can look forward to that one, Kevin. You've got 40 something if you want to go back and watch those. It's all about, you know, me making plans and behind the scenes of what it's like. So yeah, thank you, Kevin. It supports me and helps me to keep doing this. And it means I don't have to kind of partner with any cruise lines or anything. I can say what I like, do what I like. Do you like P&O cruises, says Tom. Yes, I do like P&O cruises. I have got a couple of P&O cruises booked actually because they were really cheap, couldn't resist. I have cruised on Britannia to Norway, which was awesome. I booked Iona. It was cancelled for obvious reasons. But yeah, I like P&O cruises. I don't really think you can go wrong. If you're from the UK and you want a first cruise, you know, it's easy peasy. They make everything really kind of, they explain everything for you. Thank you to Thank God for my super sticker. I appreciate that one. Another one of my Patreons. Nice to see you here. Thank you. Would you prefer Oasis or P&O? Oasis meaning kind of Oasis class Royal Caribbean or P&O? I mean, I would try an Oasis class Royal Caribbean because I haven't tried them and I've tried P&O. But really depends who you are. If you're somebody, some people really don't like those big mega ships. And some people don't like the smaller ships. There's ships for everybody. Trevor says, have you ever needed one of the expensive injections to stop seasickness from the ship's medic? No, I've never gone that far. I always am well equipped. I always have the seasickness bands, the seasickness tablets, which I think work pretty well. If the captain comes over the tannoy and says we're going to have bad weather, I'm taking seasickness pills then. I'm not playing around with that. It's not fun. So it's always, I've always, you know, been okay, been able to prevent it, or just struggled on through. It's fine. It's worth it. It's so worth it to cruise. John says, thanks for all the super chats and the stickers. I feel like you're the one giving them, John, but thank you. Hello to Sean, who has been in hospital for 3 weeks. I wondered where you would have gone, Sean, but I never thought that you would be in hospital. Very sad to hear that. I hope you're okay. I mean, I'm glad you're here on the live stream. That is a good sign. Hope everyone is good. My cat died. That's awful, Sean. That's terrible. Losing a cat, having a cat put down is one of the worst things. I had a cat before Hudson called Treacle, and she was the sweetest old lady. I love that cat so much. But yeah, that's the price you pay for having a lovely little cat, I suppose. Marcus says, 280 likes, only 20 missing from the target. We can do this. Thank you, Marcus. How good are you at Shuffleboard? Not great at Shuffleboard, to be honest with you. Not great. Not great. I don't spend too much time playing Shuffleboard on a cruise, got to be honest. Got to be honest. If MSC Cruises decides to cruise from the Caribbean, which ship do you think they will send? They usually send the Seaside, the Seaview, that kind of newer cruise ship over to the Caribbean. They may send one of the Pepsi Virtuoso, one of those new ones. Or, of course, they have so many older cruise ships for MSC. So many. Latest weekly Hudson news. Nothing has happened for Hudson this week. We put a blanket on the floor, not for Hudson, but once you put a blanket on the floor, it becomes a cat blanket. So that's where he is now. He's up there, so he's good. Well done, everyone, for the likes. It just skyrocketed, said Marcus. Well, thank you, Marcus, for always being in here and always encouraging everybody to like these videos. I appreciate that. Do you think there will be a language barrier issue for Americans cruising with Aida? Maybe. They are a German cruise line. I haven't cruised with them yet. I think you can, but I would really, yeah, I'm not so sure about that one. I don't know. I don't know. Looks like Hudson is in China this week. Is he in China? There he is. See, sorry, it's inverted. Whenever I go one way, the other me goes that way. Hudson moved to China, worth mentioning. Yeah, I just move him between YouTube videos sometimes, and I like to see if you comment on where he's gone. I like that one. Have you done the Office trivia on board, says James? I haven't. I'm rewatching the US Office for the 4th time now, I think. One of my favorite shows. I don't think you can go wrong with that show. I think it's one of the only things where I think the US version is better than the UK, and come at me if you want to, but it is what it is. Dylan says, check out Morgan's videos. Yes, Morgan is in Germany. So he's the person that asked about that. Morgan was on US TV this week, which was really cool. Really interesting that the US is kind of paying attention to the other places that are cruising and have been cruising since last July. So it's not a new thing to be cruising. Yeah, Sana says, UK cruisers who've been on board say that all entertainment and announcements are in German only. Staff speak English, but that's it. So yeah, you could cruise with Aida, I think, not speaking German, but you wouldn't get the proper experience. It's not like cruising with MSC speaking English or cruising with Costa speaking English is fine. Aida is a bit more tricky, Why are you skeptical about Aida? I would love to cruise with Aida. It seems so fun. Whenever I've been next to a cruise ship from Aida, it's been loud and people whooping, and yeah, it seems like a lot of fun on an Aida cruise. I think it's quite relaxed as far as I can tell. So, right, guys, it has been an hour again. I don't know how fast this hour goes. It's the fastest hour of the week, but it has been so good to talk to you. I will be back same time, same place next week. Set a reminder, put it in your calendar, something like that. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you to everybody who's given me super chats and joined and whatever you've done. All those likes, I appreciate it. I will see you next week. Bye, everybody.